What's up, YouTube? This is Boston X89. Alright, guys, today I'm coming to you with my latest ban list analysis video. The OCG has just released their October 1st ban list, and I'm going through this ban list to analyze the hits as well as see which cards and moves could potentially make their way over to the TCG side of the game. Now, you can see right here, just in the ban section alone, we have a big talking point right off the bat. So let's just get into this, guys. All right, so there's only two cards being banned over on the OCG side of the game for the October 1st ban list, and that's True King of All Calamities. I mean, we all know the reason why this card was banned here in the TCG Virtual World. Dropping two copies of this guy in one turn, not healthy at all, is insanely oppressive, and it just doesn't allow players to play the game. So definitely getting this card out of the game over on the OCG side is fair. Over in OCG's land, Mystic Mine has seen a lot of play. In fact, I think it was placed at 1 on the limited list for a while, and I guess it was seeing a lot of play in the recent format that warrant this move. Now, over here in the TCG side of the game, yes, a lot of combo players, they want this card gone. They feel it's just a poorly designed card, which it's not. It's actually a poorly designed card. They feel it's an oppressive card. Being a player who used this and as well as have it used on, I can see both sides of the argument, but to be honest, I find it fair. And is it bannable? Yes, it is a bannable card. Will it happen here in the TCG? No. The only deck that's actually using this card is Sky Strikers. They're only running one copy of it in their deck, so to be very honest, I just don't see this card even being touched or limited on the TCG Forbidden Limited list for October this year. Will it happen? Probably. But before Konami does that here on the TCG side of the game, you gotta look at what the OCG had to actually take this card's place. And in the OCG land, they have 3 copies of Skill Drain. They've had Skill Drain at 3 for a while now, and it hasn't been seen at all in meta-relevant decks. So that kind of spells out a good move for Konami on the TCG side of the game to actually try. If they're going to be moving this card to the ban list, they have to move Skill Drain down as well. I know a lot of players don't like the fact that, oh, we're replacing one Floodgate with another. But you know what? Skill Drain is a trap card. It costs 1,000 points to actually activate. It only affects the monster effects on the field. It doesn't touch their effects in the graveyard, banished zone, or in the hand. It still allows attacks. It still allows you to activate spells and traps. So, yeah, there are a lot of ways to play around Skill Drain. Not that many ways to play around Mine. So that's why I think Skill Drain is a little bit fairer. Especially since it hits both players. Mine only affects the player with the most monsters on the field. Okay? Mine definitely is something further down the road, but I don't see it happening on this upcoming TCG ban list. So, sorry, combo players, you still gotta deal with this card. For the limits, we have Psyframe, Gear, Gamma, as well as Zeus. Now, a lot of TCG prediction videos for the ban list have this card either being banned or limited. To be very honest, I agree more with the limits. I think the whole idea of stacking one copy on top of another copy of this card is just a poor thing to do. Having one copy is all you really need, and just putting this card on one also doesn't hurt the upcoming sales of the Megatins, since this card has been confirmed for the Megatins. On this point with Psyframe, Gear, Gamma, here on the TCG side of the game, Gamma is much more meta-dependent than it is over in the OCG. I think it's seen a lot more play in the OCG, so that's the primary reason why it's being put to 1. I don't see this move translating at all on the TCG side of the game. Moving on to the semi-limits. All right, Overraptor has been limited for a while on the OCG side of the ban list. I guess they're walking it off on the OCG side of the game, trying to test the waters. I know a lot of players here in the TCG have just basically been kind of adding me with my unlimit of the miscellaneous source and the limit of Overraptor on my wish list. Guys, it's a wish list. Come on. But still, to be very honest, I still think this card should have went to 1 over in the TCG. It's not going to happen. To be very honest, I don't see it happening. But to be just them testing the waters to see what Overraptor can do and what dinosaurs can do in the upcoming format, fine. Let OCG see what dinosaurs can do and if it can do anything. Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon is a card I could definitely see coming down the list. The errata only allows you to use its effect once per turn, and that doesn't really matter how many copies of the card you can get out on the field. With that being said, yes, this is something safe that can be brought down to 2, and then probably bring brought the list on the next ban list. Pile of Desires, this is something that's very interesting. I'm guessing it's getting annoying over on the OCG side of the game, especially with it running 3. To be very honest, my personal history with this card, especially with running it at 3 in the deck, I've always draw into another copy of the card, and I don't banish the 3rd. And that's kind of why I want to turn around and see this card happen in the TCG. Will it happen? No, it won't. TCG is not going to move against this card. Crossout Designator. This card is basically like a newer version of Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave is at 2 in the OCG. We don't have this card. Call by the Grave is at 1, and the logic behind keeping Call by the Grave at 1 is what's actually preventing us from actually getting this card in the TCG in the first place. If you guys want to hear my reasoning, just check out my ban list prediction video on that. But considering that this is basically a little bit fairer version of Call by, it only affects the monster, one particular monster effect per turn. It's another anti-hand trap card, to be very honest, and you have to be running the same hand trap as your opponent to really make use of it. Not that big of an issue here in the TCG because it's pretty much the same hand traps in all the decks. Ash, Baylor, and then probably either Ghost Spell or Skullmeister being utilized. To be honest, I think TCG deserves this card to actually come over first before we can even make judgment on it. I personally just feel that having this card around would allow a little bit easier play, just to stop your opponent from being able to utilize specific hand traps, and it just makes things fairer because it only lasts 1 turn, unlike Cold Drive, which lasts 2. But that's that. To be very honest, this going to 2 doesn't surprise me, especially with Call by a 2. So, all right. Coming down over here to the Unlimits. Now, Pendulum Call we have at 3 in the TCG for a while now, so this move doesn't really apply to us. Mind Control with the errata, I can definitely see this happening. The errata, this card isn't seeing any play at all, so I feel that it's safe. Danger Nessie as well as Salamander Circle. Salamander Circle I've been begging to see off the freaking limit list for a while. Just giving Salamander an extra consistency boost isn't the worst thing to happen. I know it also gives protection to the Reincarnate Length. So you know what? Boosting consistency of a deck that doesn't put up overwhelming boards is just consistent turn after turn. That's not a bad thing. I think Salamagrate's been pretty much power crept at this point. They're not really having an impact on the meta at all, so I can see this being safe to bring off. Danger Nessie is another card that I could actually see coming down the list. To be honest, trying to play pure Danger, just with only a few copies of the Searcher, that's not very useful, to be very honest. Putting this card at 3, yes, definitely. Keeping the level 3 dangers, I would say it's a little bit fairer to keep the level 3s where they are and just release Nessie. So at least pure danger and a danger engine can be utilized again in different decks. And to be honest, it is a very fair engine. Alright guys, that's just my ideas on the moves on the OCG list that could potentially translate over to the TCG side of the game. Guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below, find the invite link to my Discord server, join the conversation, we'll love to have you. Help support the channel as well as my affiliates, tcgplayer.com as well as sidexversus.com. Great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. Follow me on social media, and guys, until next time, peace.